you can stay here, don't worry. So you will do it for next week right now. So now the meeting is streaming live. This is very good. Okay. You need to all mute when you are not talking. If you want to talk, you can unmute and talk, but when you're not talking, please make sure all are muting. So Stephanie, did you get a chance to post the video link?
Right now I'm going into change the link and then I'll post it in just a minute. If you can go ahead and admit the ones coming in for now, that will be very helpful. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes. Hi, Albert. Are you okay? Do you know your company and you can join them on Discord? Are you on Discord already?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question.
Sure, go ahead, please.
On Discord, when I unmute, no one can hear me. How do I fix that?
A voice microphone setting that you have to go to inside your settings for Discord. So you may need to allow access for your microphone in Discord to allow. I'm sure some of the co-founders of your startup can help you get connected for next time. You can also message us inside Discord and we'll help you.
But I think it's allowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We are waiting. We have 4 more minutes before everybody come in. If anybody is here, have a question, doesn't know how to join their own company or his own company, if you have a question, you can ask. But most people, almost all, are right now in their voice channel on Discord with their company. Stephanie, did you share the link also with those that you're talking with right now earlier today?
I didn't, but I'll share it with Dele and she can share it out to the parents.
Yeah,
and I can
just tell them that, you know, if they want to see things in action, this is the best time to join. And can you put the YouTube link in this chat also here, if you can, please? I appreciate that. Okay, I admitted Sally. Hi, Sally. This is Amir. Sally, do you hear me?
I do, Amir. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing? Great seeing you. Long time no see.
I know.
Really appreciate you being here.
Oh,
It's an honor.
Oh my goodness, it's my pleasure. There's very little Zori can ask me to do that I won't do. So
really appreciate it.
Oh,
so
Sally, enormous strides. It's fantastic.
It's going to have a lot of fun. So I just give you the lay of land. So in less than a minute, the kids are coming back from the Scrum session of their companies.
Uh-huh.
And then their CEOs is going to report for about 25 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll move to your presentation.
Okay. Okay.
We'll have 20 minutes, which will be a combination of you talking and then they ask you question and answer.
Right.
And I have your presentation and I took out the slide that you mentioned. So those are
Right.
all.
And all I'm going to do, because we have such a short time, is I'm just going to tell them what social entrepreneurship is
Fantastic.
and then how to go about it, which is the
Fantastic.
4 stages and a couple of examples. And that's
Very good.
okay.
Very good. And you will see that actually there is something the whole hub is thinking about to do, which might be actually highly related to your subject. We'll discuss that just before your call, before your part. So
Okay.
that was.
Oh, I'm so glad I'll get to see the CEO presentations. That's going to help.
Yeah, they're coming back right now. So it's 10:15. So Stephanie, are we, did you post for them to come back in?
Yes, I'm going to post that right now. Just give me one moment.
Alexa, turn off the radio.
Hi, Sally.
Hello, Zori.
How are you doing? Good
I'm
seeing
good.
you.
Nice to see you too.
Hi, Zora, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great, fantastic. So, okay, so we have the CEOs back in. We are at 10:16. We are in the part which is we have 25 minutes. In this, we want the CEOs do the presentation. Stephanie will call the names and start. Make sure, if possible, to turn on your camera. In general, the cameras on all the time has no problem. If you have enough bandwidth, keep your cameras open. But when you're talking, definitely, if possible, keep your cameras open. And don't forget to be visual as much as possible and show your project. And I mentioned this earlier, I mentioned it again. Every session you come, this is not your company session. This is the session that you're reporting to the hub, which is the board members for your company. And also you have potential partners and investors and all those on the call. So it's very important to never assume people know what's your company about. So give a very, very rapid pitch about what is your company and what are you working on before giving the update for last week and this week. Okay, so that's very important to make sure, don't assume people know about your company. Give that short pitch and please keep it to 2 minutes. So we'll go through that, and I have some very big news that there is a brainstorming going on about something that the hub is thinking about. We had a conversation on Discord, and I'm going to summarize that in a few minutes before we move into our the amazing speaker that we have today. And we are very excited to have Sally here to enlighten us about some very important subject. So we start right now. Stephanie, can you please call in the first CEO to go ahead?
Yes, can we have Ava please go first for the super capable team?
Okay, let me share screen real quick.
And please turn on your camera also.
Sure, of course. Hello, so we are currently making designs for basically a customizable avatar, which is based off Poly, and we call it the Poly Face Library. And we have multiple groups of body parts and accessories, such as a head, glasses, all sorts of hair, eyes, eyebrows, mustache, hats, a face, a nose, ear, and multiple types of clothing and shoes. And hand in hand with this, it comes color, because PolyUp has very limited amounts of color. And to actually make things like skin tones and color for example, clothing or hair, you will need something like a customizable color, which also we have made using a color picker over here. And this is just a basic idea of what it would look like if it was implemented into PolyUp. And for the designs of what we've been doing is actually creating them in Blender. And that's pretty much it for our company. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie, who's next?
Thank you, Ava. Next, we have Eamon from the Next Generation Innovators.
Mention your country, please, also when you do. Ava was from US. Go ahead, please. Eamon? So Stephanie, can you go to the next one till they get ready? All the CEOs, please be ready to be able to share your screen and go rapidly. So
next we have Jagan from the Samurais.
Hi, I'm Jagan. I'm from India. So this week we have been working on one of the libraries. We are creating a furniture library. So we have been brainstorming some ideas for what it could look like, the parts. Currently we have 14 parts. We are going to be adding more parts as well. By next week, I hope we brainstorm more ideas and maybe even start modeling them in Paint 3D. And also one of our teams has created projects, one of our members. This is what one of our team members made for social media.
fantastic.
And yes, that's about it.
Have you done any posting on social media or not yet?
Yes, I'm working on one video. So we will be posting more videos in the next week.
Fantastic. Thank you. Stephanie?
Okay, great. So next we have Aziz from Innovation Sultans, or anyone else from Innovation Sultans that will be presenting on his behalf.
Let's go to next.
Next we have Kenan from PolyUp Pros.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hi,
Kenan is on. Kenan, please mention your country. Go ahead.
Yep. Hello. I'm Kenan from Azerbaijan, and I'm representing the PolyPros team. So I'll share my screen right now and just give a rough idea of what we're working on. Here. Can you see it?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so our team is focusing on the terrain library on PolyUp, which covers all things nature related, like plants, mountains, terrain, as the name suggests, like land and water and whatnot. So this is what the parts look like. Right now we're collecting feedback and finalizing this library. So we have some notable comments like adding new parts, maybe replacing the old parts, changing the colors and all that, adding textures. This week we've been working on the team logo, and we made it on PolyUp. So this is the most significant thing we've made this week. So yeah, it's just the logo remade in PolyUp.
Fantastic. So one thing, Kenan, can you please show back the library? And I want to say something here for everybody. So the PolyPros is the company that has the first library in the pipeline that is getting the candidate to go get released. And because of that, it's very important that Kenan, you and your company share your experiences with other companies that they want to go through this journey. I know you had a 3D design session for others, and Kenan and their team. You can reach out to them. So what you see here is really, really innovative. It looks not that complicated, but actually a lot of thought going to this, because you have to think about modules which with those you can build the most possibilities on a scene. You have to think about where the anchors should be. such that it work better. So it's really is more than just the shape, is a full 3D design. And then how does that relates to the other libraries, how the libraries can work together. So that's very good that one of the companies get to the point that does the release, and now I can share the experiences with others that you saw a couple of examples, like the furniture library and also the people library that the other companies are working on. So this collaboration of companies helping each other to be able and share experience is very important. In real life, in big, I mean, you're in real life, but in the companies outside the hub, this happens a lot. And one of the things is you can build more amazing machines, more innovative solutions by combining the libraries. So it's very important. You can help each other by making sure your libraries work together. Thank you, Kenan. Stephanie?
I believe we have Eamon here now from Next Generation Innovators. Eamon, are you able to unmute and share your screen?
Hello everyone. I'm sorry, I have some problems with internet, so I can't turn on my camera and I can't share my screen.
No problem. Go ahead, please.
Okay. We created some. We created and designed some prototypes for the sites. For example, the comments form for machines, for inside of machines, and we will create some parts for carbon removal projects for our startup.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you.
I will turn on my camera and share my screen.
Yes.
Next.
Go ahead.
In next week.
No problem. Don't worry. Thank you.
Okay.
Stephanie?
Thank you. We have Lale from PolyUp Innovators. Please go ahead, Lale.
Hi, I'm Lala from Azerbaijan, and my company name is PolyUp Innovators. It's included 7 members. And now, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
So,
if you like to share your camera also, it would be good.
sorry. Can you see?
Yes, we see.
Firstly, we create a logo for our company, and then we design it.
Can you please put on mute? Everybody else put on mute. Stephanie, can we put everybody on mute and unmute? All
Yes.
okay. Sorry, go ahead, please.
We designed this and we create this logo, PolyUp Innovators, and we choose CM Esrem Radlı, and Mahmoud is our CDO, and Mahmoud created this. Thanks. And this is our MFS library and policy library testing. I create this, and sorry. And I choose this. I have the same problem. This is kitchen, and sorry, this is bedroom, police, and this is a dining room, for example, and sofa. Oh, and police city library testing. For I use this car and this road, police car, and also I used that gold chips. If we do this, I have example what, for example, this happen, and we can move around our home. This. Can you?
Yes, this is fantastic. Thank you. So you are combining the library elements from the solar library, from Enphase, from the city library, That's a very good example of showing how you can collaborate between the products of different companies to build better solutions. That's very good.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. Next, Stephanie.
Thank you, Laura. Next, we have Nick from the creative technology team. Nick, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nikon from Creative Technology Team, and I'm from the US. Okay, so we had one of our members make our logo in PolyUp. So here it is. Oh, my thing just crashed. I don't know what happened.
No problem. It's okay. So you're doing it on a stage.
Okay.
You better start to do it on the production.
Okay, so this is the logo in PolyUp, as you can see. Next week, when we were in the Discord, before we joined the Google.
You got muted, Nikon. Okay, go ahead.
We talked about we watched a video for the carbon removal project, and we're gonna start working on that next week for our work next week, and I'm also gonna make some we're gonna do some personal like logos for everyone's gonna make their own one for like each person on the team. So we're gonna make an example first, so we can see how it looks like, and then people are just gonna customize that to their own way that they want it for themselves. So
Great.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Nick. Next, we have Sari from Shindo. Sari, please go ahead and unmute and tell us about your startup's progress this week.
Hello, I am Sari, and me and my teams have decided what we're gonna do for our team team name and logo. So our team name is going to be Shindo, and our logo, I will show you it right now. I'll just share my screen.
And sorry, can you let us know what Shindo stands for, how you came up with the name?
It means like, it's like a good meaning. It means that smart and generous and humanitarian and those. And logical mind.
And what language is that?
That's English.
Oh, I don't know. I'm learning. That's great.
Yeah. I will show you the logo now.
Yes. And from which country are you joining?
I am from Palestine.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And show the logo. Here. It says me unsupported.
It's okay. So no problem. You may not be able
I
to
can
share.
send it on chat.
Sure. Just put it on
Yeah.
chat. That's very good. Anything else?
No, our plan for next week is to design our logo in PolyUp machine.
In PolyUp machine. Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you, Sari. Next, we have Shavkat from Poly Builders. Shavkat, please go ahead.
Shavkat, are you connected?
They were here a few minutes ago. Maybe we can go to John Mark until Shavkat has a chance to rejoin. John Mark, do you want to go ahead and share your screen? Go ahead and unmute and tell us about your progress from this past week and your plan for next week.
So hi guys. And I'm John Mark, the CEO of STEM Velocity. And now I'll start sharing my screen.
Please mention what country are you from?
So I'm from Kenya. I joined PolyUp in the Spring Challenge, and I'm currently in one which is taking place in this spring. So I'll show you some of our team's progress. And so we are working on NFACE library and also the robotics library. So I also thought that our team could also work on something about space, and what Amir said about the SpaceX and all sorts of Elon Musk things. I think that actually motivated me, and I actually went ahead and also with my team to actually look at Paint 3D because it's another alternative from Blender. So I'll share my screen. Let me show you. So let me show you my screen. So I hope everyone can see. Can everyone see?
Yes, it's coming up right now. Yes, we see that.
So here I have the Mars rover. And actually, let me tell you, I'm using Paint 3D. So I can turn the rover. So I thought of actually me and my team and actually put it in with a robotics library to come up with something even more fantastic. So yeah, that's all.
That's
And
really
also,
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
So yeah, I've not yet finished. So this was me and my team's project for last week. It's not actually over yet. And also, I think that's all. Yeah.
Very good.
So
thank you. Very good. Stephanie, how many startups are remaining?
Just one more. We have the golden ratio.
Go ahead, please.
Aliazi, please go ahead and present.
Okay, just a minute.
And Aliazi, can you say which country you're from, please?
I'm from Oman. And I'm sharing the screen now. Is it visible? Can you see it?
Not yet.
It's loading now.
Yeah, it's loading. It's okay. You go ahead. Yeah, we see it.
All right, I'll start. Okay, I designed this Lego and we named our company the Golden Ratio. My friend actually chose the name, and here's our team members, me, Aliazi, and Lina. I tried to contact Lujain and Arif, but they didn't respond yet.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else, Aliazi? Okay, very good. So Stephanie, are we done with the companies?
Yes, we've covered the companies. Okay. Please go ahead.
Very good.
Sorry, I have a bad connection. Sorry.
No problem, Aliazi. That was very good. I appreciate it. Do you have anything else?
I'm so sorry. Can I post it again? Yes, I do.
Sure, go ahead. No problem.
Can you see the screen again?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. So actually, we're not a team. It's just me actually working, and my friend Selena is also with me. So we need a team, or we could be a part of a team. We are using Paint 3D and also Inkscape. I've created this cool machine. I'll show you later. And this is our Instagram account. So for the marketing and stuff like that, you know. And then here is my machine. Where did it go? Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we see it. It's loading. Yes.
Yes, I've created this machine. He's Polly trying to catch fish, and these buttons can move to right and left, and also button A and B
can make it easy for Poly to raise his hand or lower it down. And here, as you can see, is the story ship, but it actually says learn more, and there you will find cool information about fish. Fish do not have a neck, and this makes it much easier for them to learn, and other information. So you can learn and play at the same time. And that's basically it. I'm sorry for the bad connection.
No problem. Aliazi, and what country you were on?
I'm from Sultanate Oman.
From Sultanate Oman. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so let's.
Last thing, please.
Sure, go ahead.
Please, can you add us to a team, other team we can
Yes,
like.
we'll do that. No worries, and we'll get there. Okay.
Make it more easy because we're just two of us, and basically I'm working alone.
No, I understand. So we'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Ayazi. So let me say a couple of things very rapidly because we want to move to our guest of honor today. Couple of things. One, the only thing you need to make a startup is to start with 2 co-founders. I want to make sure you understand. A startup don't happen alone. Startups are highly social, highly is about the team, and the team doesn't have an I in it. You see, the team doesn't have any letter I. So when you present and when you think of it, you should start to not think about who in the team did it and more focusing on your startup, your company is doing it. Don't worry about that you're only 2. If you're alone, then we should definitely find out a way to have somebody join. You can go up to 7. You will grow. You will bring more people. Everybody, and the 2 that come, the goal is as much as possible to not be from the same country, such that the collaboration comes in and each of you from different countries can bring other team members in. Don't forget, the Innovation Hub is at its infancy. So you are the one that actually, by your thoughts, your persistence and your innovation, actually making innovation happen. It's not like a school with some set things that you're just doing something that people done for the past 20 years. You are opening the road how Innovation Hub works. So I want you to be at ease. The state of mind of not knowing what to do is a natural state of mind. In startups, in most cases, the co-founders, the team members don't know exactly what to do. It's fine, and you will figure it out, okay? And ask for help and help each other. I want to emphasize about one path that we're going forward. There is an idea that right now we are working on, and I want to share my screen in a second to show this. We had discussions in the Hub chat a lot over the past 2 days. There is a prize by Elon Musk for $100 million about carbon removal. This is for the adults and large companies over the next 4 years to have the most amount of removal. And we want to participate as a collective of companies of K-12. I want to just do 1 minute to run this such that you know what it's about. I'll run it right now. It's a 1 minute video. Oh.
Humans are celebrating the speed of their station. Buildings, hills, they've just disappeared under the haze.
We're not going to go to school that's supposed to prepare us for a future if a future doesn't exist.
We are going to fight for science. Today, we make a change!
We need to meet the moment, the urgency demands.
Use your power to move solutions to deal with climate change.
So the idea is we want to build the solutions based on the existing library parts, new library parts that among different startups in Hub you can come up with, put it together, make many solutions between the spring and summer season. The deadline for submission for the students is in October. So we take those that they have highest revenue about among your companies. Highest revenue means most Polycoin, means most amount of people have learned from it, have used it. Based on that, to take those, put it as a collection and submit that to XPRIZE. The CEO of XPRIZE is going to be here in, Anusha Ansari is going to be here in early June. And we want to have more discussion on this, maybe build some preliminary machine that when she comes to show it to her, and make this a big collaborative effort between many companies to solve a huge, important social, a global issue. And that's a great segue to our today's speaker, Sally Osberg. It's amazing, Sally, to have you here. Really appreciate it. She's an icon in social entrepreneurship, which is going to now explain to us. And Sally, we're elated to have you here. Please go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Amir, and thank you, all of you, for inspiring me today. What wonderful, wonderful presentations, and how exciting to think of your capabilities, the capabilities you're developing to do what needs to be done in the world. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about social entrepreneurship. Probably most of you have heard the term entrepreneur, and many of you have heard the term social entrepreneur. And I want you to think of social entrepreneurs as not just people who are going to build organizations, but people, the kids and women and men who are going to be solving society's biggest problems. So Amir just showed you the XPRIZE opportunity for carbon capture. I don't think there's one of you who isn't really deeply, deeply worried about the impact of climate change in your countries, in your communities, and on the world, in our collective future. So that's an example of the kind of problem that needs your innovation, the skills you're developing with PolyUp. This is a definition of social entrepreneurs. Just think of it as society's change agents, the folks who develop the innovations that change the way things are and makes the world better. This is a shot of a woman. Her name is Victoria Hale, and she created the world's first not-for-profit pharmaceutical company. So she was a pharmacist who could see that there were all kinds of products on the shelf, all kinds of innovations that never got to markets because the markets, couldn't afford them. So she built the bridge between that innovation and the countries that need them with this innovative new model, a nonprofit pharmaceutical company. Okay, next slide. This just gives you a sense of these pressing problems in the world. All of you know about these, educational inequity, endemic poverty, human rights, sustainable markets, and the environment, and health. And certainly all of us who've who've managed to get through this stage of the pandemic, and it's far from over yet, as we know, are really mindful of how hard the poor are being hit by not just by the pandemic, but by climate change and everything else that's heading in the wrong direction. So having a sense of what the challenges are in the world, and then where you can really build a model for change, is the quintessential characteristic of the social entrepreneur. Okay, next slide, Stephanie. We like to think of change as equilibrium change, and you know, you've been working with PolyUp, and I really in awe of your different models, the libraries you're building, the models you've made, concepts like the golden ratio. You understand how to take mathematics and use mathematics to solve problems, and certainly social problems all have at their root an equilibrium. So what that means is that there's an existing status quo. Let's just say it's the education system in your communities, school and teachers and classrooms and equipment and everything else that you have is there because it's always been there, and because there is a set of actors who don't know how to change it. And so you've got to create the intervention that actually takes that equilibrium and produces a new equilibrium, a changed status quo. So next slide. So this is at its core, this is the model to understand why the problem exists in the first place and what's keeping it from changing. You envision how it could be different, what it would look like if it were different, how the actors would be different, how the classrooms would change, how the set of the way kids would have empowering assignments rather than less important and less challenging assignments. And then you would build, and probably in a prototype form, a model for how this could change. And eventually, once you prove that model, you are ready to really scale it and to roll it out so that many, many more people all over the world have access to that new equilibrium. Okay, next slide. So I like to think that there are 4 stages for doing this work. And the first, as I already said, is to understand what is the way of the world? Why is carbon such a challenge? And is it an economic challenge? Is it a social challenge? Is it a political challenge? Well, clearly it's all the above. And since the Industrial Revolution, you know, we have been largely commercial economies that are driven by fossil fuels. And so how do you change that? Well, you change it in the way that an Elon Musk is trying to change it, with demonstrating that you're able to build much more sustainable vehicles, or incentivize entrepreneurs to really capture carbon in ways that transform the industry. So understanding the problem and how it got to be the way it is the first challenge. Next slide. And this is really the fun part, and the part that everybody wants to start with, because you know, there are lots of us who see what's wrong in the world. And there's some of us who may even have an idea for how to change that. And who can see the possibility, what it would look like when it was changed. But there are very, very few of us who actually get to the next stage, from envisioning that new future to, next slide, to building the model for change. And so that's what really distinguishes a social entrepreneur. You don't just, you know, lament or criticize things for the way they are. You don't just say, well, it could be this, you know, if only so-and-so would do that, or if only government policy would change, or if only companies would be more mindful of their sustainability, the sustainability of their supply chains. You don't just point to others. You say, okay, if not me, who? If not now, when? And you build that model for change. And that's really the entrepreneurial piece of social entrepreneurship. And here you have a picture of a really interesting organization started in sub-Saharan Africa. The organization is called APOPO, and probably lots of you know that there are all over the world, there are buried explosives, mines, landmines, and those landmines can be set off in an instant as a child walks over them to school, or a farmer starts to cultivate a field, and they wreak horrible toll on society. So this organization came up with a cheaper, better way to sniff out landmines, training African pouch rats to actually detect the landmines. So much cheaper, much more scalable, much more easily adapted in environments all over the world. And as a result of this, their work and others' work, the point Amir made about working together, that is so true for social entrepreneurs. But anyway, a country like Mozambique, which was one of the most heavily mined countries in the world, was actually able to declare about 7 years ago that it was mine free. And that makes a huge change for the people who live in that country, because they're able to develop their land, they're able to walk to school without fear. It changed everything for the country. So okay, and the fourth stage of social entrepreneurship, and you all know this because essentially you're learning all these mathematical concepts and how to put them to work in computational thinking, is scalability. So it's, you can't solve a problem of the scale of a social challenge like climate change or like health inequity without figuring out how to bring that model to scale so that many more people have access to the change. And this is a shot of a very great social entrepreneur whose name is Paul Farmer. And he believes that health is a human right. But he's gone about proving that health can be delivered in even the most poor of countries if you train people, paraprofessionals, if you train people not just through the professional system of medical education, but you train ordinary people to help deliver medical treatments, help diagnose people in the fields, get to where people are. So as you think about vaccine rollout throughout the world, it's clear that vaccine rollout can only happen if more and more people are trained to deliver vaccines and get them into local settings so that we can actually get past this pandemic globally. So that simple idea, how can you bring people in and build a massive core of healthcare workers, that's led to tremendous health benefits in, again, very resource poor environments like a Liberia, for example. And that's really as much as I wanted to say. I think there's one more slide here that summarizes the points I've made. But you're all well on your way. It's clear that you're developing the tools, the skills, the way of thinking about partners, about teams, about innovation, and about doing important work in the world. So I really congratulate you and look forward to seeing all the great things you're going to do. I'm hoping that one of you will walk away with Elon Musk's big prize, but even if you don't, I know that you're going to put forward some fantastic ideas. And with that, I think maybe we have just a couple minutes for questions, or a few minutes for questions. And thank you for your time, and thank you for everything you're doing.
I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Albert.
What do you mean by Elon Musk's prize?
That was the last presentation that Amir made, where he showed this competition that Elon Musk is rolling out. It's called an X Prize, and he is inviting people to come up with technological solutions to all the carbon in the atmosphere, ways to actually capture that carbon, get it out of the atmosphere, so that the world doesn't get so much hotter that that it causes even more devastation than we're already experiencing. So that Amir,
Albert, can I add one thing? So you're going to please read the hub discussion. There's a lot of discussion there about the details of this, and you'll learn much more. Is an idea for the hub companies together submit a solution. And Sally, I have a news for you. The decision of a hub has been not one of them will win. All the hub teams together are submitting a portfolio. So if the hub wins, all the companies will win with depending on how much revenue they have made in this economy. So it's going to be highly collaborative between all the companies.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And with that kind of collaboration, there are going to be some brilliant ideas emerging.
Fantastic. So please put your questions here. We have a little bit time for a few more questions, couple more. But first, please put it there in the chat. So Noel, do you want to go ahead with your question, please?
Yeah, I have a question about the Elon Musk challenge, the one rewarding with which one has a reward. So is it okay maybe if you can make maybe a real life module just to test it out, let's say in your backyard, a really tiny one, before you actually focus on the details building it in the PolyUp library?
Definitely. Any ideas you have is good. And you know, try. There is no limit in what's good or bad. It's just you pushing it. And don't forget, the Elon Musk thing that we're going to do is an idea that you know, all the people in the hub together are finding a way to do. We don't know the details, and this should be have a lot of discussion going back and forth. So that's a great idea, Noel. Please put these ideas in that discussion to go as part of what eventually would be the form and the way that we want to have this submission. Any questions for Sally? Anybody else want to have a question for Sally? Zora has a question. So she's asking, how can we measure social impact?
Well, the ultimate measure of social impact, Zori, is that individuals, communities, societies are more prosperous, are healthier, are happier, are better able to educate their children and contribute what they have to contribute to the world. So the ultimate test is the health of a society. And you know, and I know that there are ways for measuring that. So you can measure everything from, you know, infant mortality to the percentage of people who show up and vote safely in elections, to the rights of women, of children, of young people, of minority populations. All those things can actually be measured, and depending on what your model is, if it's a model in health, you're able to measure the health of a population and determine that the impact is benefiting people.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other question for Sally? Great, Sally. So we really appreciate it. I have a question I want to ask here, if I may. If the, you know, what has become a tradition, this is the fourth time we have this kind of a meeting. It's very early, but what has become a tradition is the kids are asking if it's possible to have the help from your side to be, if they have questions, to reach out to you, not a lot of burden, but every like maybe month or so or 2 months or so with some question and get your help and advice on the direction they're going. Is that okay?
I have a condition. Sure. That I can reach back to them and ask them for help too. So, because based on what I've seen today, they're way out ahead of where I am. So
fantastic. Really appreciate it. There is a channel for advisors that the kids can have conversation, and we would be elated to have you on that.
Oh, thank you. It would be an honor. It'd be an honor.
Okay, so we are already past the time. I want to again thank you. It was fantastic. Really appreciate to have you here. Thank you for everybody for the work you're doing. I want to finish by saying again, I want to show actually one thing before I go out, something that I'm going to post also in the channel. But let me share with you. I want to show you something that it's very interesting to see, because one of the questions everybody asks is, well, we are doing now some practices and this is not really startups, is this? And I want to show you this news. If you see my screen, this is just 4 days ago, 2 kids from 10th grade, they sold their company. And the most amazing thing about this picture is there are 2 people putting their hand on back of each other. This is how companies happen, based on a team that collaborates, have an idea, and make it happen. So there is no limit for what you want to do, and don't assume that every piece have to be known. You are going to deal with unknown. Not only the math and CS and robotics part of it is important, the other piece, which is how to find out how to work together, is as if not more important, and you're figuring it out. So be patient. Sometimes somebody doesn't answer, sometimes it takes longer. It's okay, you will figure it out. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody. Have a great time, and we'll talk next week. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Can we leave?
Yes, you can leave.
Bye.
And if you have any conversation, continue on the Discord. Let's on Discord keep the conversation going. If you have more questions or anything, just come on Discord and let's continue there.
Amishan, can I talk with Jagan and ask him to provide videos for the?
Yes, yeah. You should follow on the best ways to follow on Discord. Are you on the Discord right now or not yet?
No, I am not.
Okay, so continue here. Jogan is here. You can talk to him, but I'll put you on the Discord such that you can have a continuous conversation.
Okay, Jagan, do you remember we talked about you provide 5 videos to instruct the others how to work with the solar panel?
Yes, I have recorded the video. I am editing it. So to make it look a bit nicer, I'm editing it. I think it'll be out by maybe Monday or so.
Okay, fantastic. So please share with me when you're done. I don't know how we can be connected and how you can share the videos with me. Maybe you can email me or.
I will set you on Discord just today. Then it would be very easy and you can have continuous. Hey. So let's do it through Discord. I'll do that. Jogan, he will be connected and you can have the discussions.
Okay, thank you, Jagan.
And Jogan, that was great. Jogan, this is very, very important. Actually, Enphase company is looking for that, not only for all the educators and all the kids are learning it, also the company want to look at it. So being a step by step is very important. I suppose you have discussed it with Yahya that, you know, the most important thing is to make sure they know what's the minimum to use in the library. For example, in the library, the most important thing you should have is a microcontroller, correct? The microgrid controller. And then you can have either the CT or the battery, and then you can have a circuit. So if you start from that, then give them the point that, okay, now that I have a microgrid controller, and I have the CT connection, now the other point is don't have the CT connection and only have the solar, then have both solar and CT connection, then have the solar CT connection and the battery. If you go in that order, this is something that Enphase has asked for, that if you go in that order, they want to have that to become the main video they're releasing. Does that make sense?
Could you repeat?
Yeah. So the order is this. You want to start by saying that if I have a microgrid and some sort of source of energy, I can start the lamp and the refrigerator and others. The source of energy is either can be the city, start from the city, because that's what everybody knows first. The city is connected, correct? Then after that, take the city off, put the solar, correct, as a source. So then the second one is you have solar, the microgrid, and some consumer of energy like a lamp or others. So those are the
I actually had a doubt. So in the library, I was not able to understand how do I disconnect it from the city, because by default it's connected to the city. Only when I add the batteries and it is connected to the batteries and it works on solar.
But if the city is not connected to the same parts of the house, you're not connected to the city, are you?
You don't need any city parts actually to connect
you don't
it.
need. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying is the minimum thing you need is either to have microgrid, the solar and the consumers. That's one scenario. There are three parts, correct? The other three parts that you can do minimum is the city, the microgrid, and the consumer. No solar. These are the two bases, correct? So
yes.
First explain these two bases, then start to combine them. Say now that I have for example, the best way, the best order is to say I have microcontroller, the city, and the consumer. Then add the solar. Okay. Then, sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing.
Okay. Then add the solar. Then after you add the solar, add the battery. Okay. Then take the CT off. This is the order that the Enphase has asked for. I can type it for you, also send it to you. I'll send it to you what order. If you say it in that order, you can explain very nicely that, okay, this is a regular house. There is no solar. Then you go the next step, say, now in the regular house that I have a solar, I'm going to reduce my consumption from the city, correct? But at night, still I'm doing consumption from city because at night I didn't have any battery. There is no sun. I cannot do anything. Then the next step, you're adding battery and you're saying, now I can design the system such that I have the battery at night and the charging happen in the day. And you play a little bit with the number of the battery and number of the solar to see, because the first day may work, but the second day may not have enough charge, or may not have enough battery to keep the charge. So you have to have a balance with the number of your solar and number of the batteries. Then at the last step, you say, you know, I'm self-sustained. I can even take the city out because there was enough solar and enough battery to get enough charge such that even if there was no city, I can go through.
Oh, okay, I understood.
You see, this is what they were asking. I'll write it. If you do that, instead of them building that video, I want to use your video for everybody.
Oh,
So it's very important. Your video become the video. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So I will also write it to make sure that we are right in order. That become, become very, very natural. Everybody, because there's so many different things here. This way, simply they understand and they relate to. Okay.
Okay, and actually, for the last video, I was trying to find out how you could disconnect the grid. I mean, how do you disconnect it from the city? I did not understand how do you disconnect it, because when you add the batteries, it does not take any electricity from the city. So there's no way like disconnecting it.
So let me do this. Let me. No. Okay, so the reason for that is because if you have enough in your solar and or in battery, it will not take it from city. If you have extra because of the solar, it gives it back to the city. So the counter of the city goes backward. You're actually using electricity, correct? The only condition that the cities start to consume is if you don't have neither enough in the battery nor any solar, or you're short in that, then it starts to go from city.
Oh, okay. So you don't need to disconnect anything. There's no.
No, you don't need to disconnect. You can at the end say, even if I'm not connected, see, I never turn off, never, I have a blackout because my batteries and my solar was enough. For that case, you can take the city not connected to the wall, just put it next to it. I actually made a video yesterday because I needed this. I'll share my video with you, but you do much better than I do. So I'll share that. You will see how did I say this story. It's an 8 minutes video. It says all the steps. But you do it much better than me. There are missing parts. Like, for example, I didn't explain the nice way you're explaining, like how the chip works for the lamp, between this time and that time is on. Mine doesn't have those. You do that very well. So do one of yours, but the flow go the way that I just said. It's in the video I'll send you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll share with you right now. I'll do it in Discord. Okay.
Okay. I understood.
Yeah. Anything else?